Hello, everyone, and good evening. I'm Brian Neudorf, one of the forecasters here at the National Weather Service office in Louisville, Kentucky. Wanted to take the opportunity this evening on this Saturday night to give you an update on how we are seeing things play out for tomorrow's potential for severe thunderstorms Sunday evening. Here is the latest, and we continue to be in that number 3, or that orange category of a enhanced risk for severe thunderstorms. That is a 3 out of a scale of 5. You can see that there in the bottom right-hand corner. Now, as you make your way, that's basically the I-65 corridor as you work your way on off towards the west. Then as you make your way off towards the east, you can see from Frankfort, Lexington, we are under a 2, which is a slight risk. And then going further east, it drops down to a 1. The cold front, all of this activity, we are going to expect to see a line of showers and thunderstorms, potentially strong to severe, developing along this boundary, and timing to reach, say, Jasper, Huntingburg, points along our far western county warning area should be making its way between 9 o'clock to as late as 4 a.m. Monday morning with that line of strong to severe thunderstorms. The main threat, because of the winds, that is going to be the main threat of 65 to 75 miles an hour. But we still have that threat. The environment, the conditions are possible for tornadoes to develop along the line. And it's most importantly, keep in mind, this is a nighttime event. So it's going to be very important starting now to think of the different ways you are going to stay alert or monitor the changes in weather forecasts, as well as when watches and eventually any warnings are issued throughout the afternoon and evening tomorrow. On top of that, we've got a wind advisory during the day tomorrow, starting from late morning and making its way into early Monday morning. We could see gusty winds of 40 to 50 miles an hour. That is the added energy that's going to be on top as these storms work their way through tomorrow night. What we are going to see as we look at things, you can see here wind and tornado possibilities. We have shown this, and again, that severe wind outlook is the main threat. You can see in that kind of magenta-like color is that 45 to 59% probability of severe wind. And then when you get those little hatch markings, those little slanted lines, that means confidence is there for intensity of up to 75 mile per hour winds. And again, one thing that's been added, one new change to all of this is the tornado outlook. Yesterday at this time, we had just that 5 to 9% probability of a tornado. It is now increased in some areas from, say, Bowling Green on off towards the west of around 10 to 14%. And again, with that little kind of hatch marking, those little slanted lines, reasonable max strength or intensity of an EF2 or lower when it comes to that threat of tornadoes. As we look at kind of how things are going to move across the area, storms will enter western Kentucky sometime Sunday evening. That's going to be a good time, especially if you live along the I-65 corridor from Louisville to E-Town to Bowling Green, to monitor and see how things are going. Maybe even over towards Jasper and Hartford. That's when you might want to turn your attention to the west. Storms will reach the I-65 corridor sometime between, say, 10 o'clock to 1 a.m. and then continue to work its way eastward. Now, these are kind of a time range, and so these times could change, but this gives you a ballpark if you have plans for Sunday night. And then on top of that, we've got that gusty wind threat during the day. It was windy on Friday. It's going to be windy again on Sunday with widespread gusts of anywhere from 40 to 50 miles an hour and sustained winds of anywhere from, say, 30 to 35 miles an hour. And it can't be ruled out that we get an isolated peak gust of exceeding 50 miles an hour all ahead of this front as it begins to work through. So behind this, once we get past the severe weather, then we're going to see our temperatures take a tumble, some colder air. It's a very strong cold front, and we will see a return to winter-like weather. Behind the front, going from the temperatures there in the mid to low 60s by midnight, and then temperatures rapidly dropping to, into the 30s by Monday morning. And to add insult to injury, you may be dealing with a brief dusting of accumulating snow as we see lingering precipitation back behind it. And then we're still going to have winds changing direction, but still gusty Monday afternoon. So with temperatures in the 30s, and 30 mile an hour. We could have wind chills in the 20s, and then that continues going into Tuesday morning with low temperatures in the mid to upper teens to near 20. And even with a little bit of wind, it could make it feel like it is in the low to single digits. At least the good news is it's not very long-lived, and by the middle of the week, Wednesday, we will start to see temperatures return and make their way back to near 50 degrees. Start planning. We are about a day out at this point. So again, start to think about your plans for the day, and if you need to, adjust them. Make sure your phone and everything is charged and how you're going to get any advisories, watches, and warnings. And then again, make sure if you have a shelter or you know where to go. Then during the day, tomorrow, we're going to have those gusty winds. Start thinking about later in the evening, afternoon, seeing where everything is. Have a way to make sure everything is charged and ready to go. So when you do start to need that watches or any watches that are issued or even warnings, you have a way to get that. But again, it is extremely important because it is a nighttime event and the threat of tornadoes does exist. Make sure that volume is on for the cell phone so that if anything comes across, you will hear it. Have a NOAA weather radio or just know where to go and know what to turn into and how to get the latest weather information. If anything changes, we will continue to keep you updated on our social media feeds as well as weather.gov/Louisville and of course on YouTube. And if anything does changes, we may potentially have any more conference calls to our partners. But in the meantime, start thinking ahead, start preparing, and we will keep you updated as things get closer. And of course, we will have all the latest watches and warnings and forecast updates overnight and during the day tomorrow.